Hi, I'm Véronique, makeup artist at Cirque du Soleil. You may remember me from my Halloween makeup tutorials. I had so much fun last time that I'm back with more fun looks to celebrate Valentine's Day, the Cirque way of course. Today's look is Candy Crush. Be sure to check out the description below to get the full list of products used for this look. First of all, if you ever decide to wear colored contact lenses, I highly recommend you to apply them before you start the makeup. This way you won't get any makeup in your eye and you won't mess up your result. First step of the makeup is foundation. I decided to apply the liquid foundation with a simple foundation brush. This way I can go fast, cover my whole face without being too cakey. After that, I use an egg-shaped sponge just to even out everything. Make sure that your egg-shaped sponge is wet. Next step is the highlight. For this look, I decided to use a cream-based highlight just because it's something that I had under my hand. Otherwise, you can also use a liquid highlight. Just make sure that it's at least 3 shades lighter than your skin tone. When I'm talking about highlight, I refer to lighter foundation or concealer. The highlight areas of this makeup are the bridge of the nose, the lower part of the forehead, the nostrils, the eyelids, under the eyes, and on top of the cheekbone, around the lips, and the chin. Once you've highlighted these areas, make sure to use the egg sponge to really blend the edges. After highlight, it's blush time. So for this one, I use an orange colored cream blush on my cheeks and the bridge of my nose. You can use the brush to dab on the color just to make sure that it's nice and soft. Use the egg sponge to finish the blending. The eyebrows are never easy. Try to figure the shape you want before you start drawing. Since I will have a blue wig, I decided to use a blue pencil, just to make sure that it matches. Of course, if you decide to go for a pink wig, I would highly recommend to use a pink pencil. Try to visualize where you will have your arch. Usually I try to have it more or less in line with the outer corner of my eye. If ever you struggle with the shape of your eyebrows, you can always correct with some cream highlight or liquid foundation. You probably noticed that I'm also using a brush to help the definition of my eyebrows. I like to use a lip brush to define the edge of my eyebrows. This way it's really sharp. Alright, we are now at the lip step. For the Candy Crush lips, I use a pink pencil to outline the lips, and I will use a purple pencil to fill inside. Make sure that your pink outline is thick enough so it will blend with the purple. If your outline is too thin, it won't blend, it will just disappear with the purple. A little trick here for the lips. I suggest you to start with the center and then move on to the corners. This part needs special attention. Build your lips little by little, otherwise you might end up with a clown-shaped mouth. If ever you realize that your lips are a bit crooked, use your finger to move the lips to visualize the good shape. When you visualize a good shape, it's much easier to fix it. Once your lips are filled with purple, use a lip brush to make sure those two colors are blended together. Now that the base of the makeup is done, we're gonna set it with powder. The forehead, the eyes, and the smile lines are the places that move the most on the face. You really want to check if these places have creases before you put the powder. Make sure to erase them with the egg sponge before applying the powder, otherwise it will be locked there. Hold your powder puff like a little taco. Then press the powder everywhere on the face. Now you want to apply a little coral shimmer powder all over the eyelids. The only place that won't be covered is near the lashes, because later we will come back with some white eyeliner. The second color to apply on the eyes is a matte red coral. This color goes in the eye crease. Now I'm going over my eyebrows with some electric blue eyeshadow. I use the eyeshadow just a little bit wet so it has a bit more punch. What's the most difficult in this step is to respect the shape that we've drawn before. Again, I'm using my lip brush to define my edges. To add a bit more richness to the eyebrows, I came back with some blue-green shimmer eyeshadow. As mentioned earlier, now we're back with some white eyeliner. As white eyeliners are quite hard to find, you can use white water-based makeup instead. Simply mix a bit of water onto your white water-based makeup to make a little paste. Then, apply near your lash line. The best tools for eyeliners will be angle brush or a small flat brush. Make sure that your bristles are really tight. This way you can be precise. Just use a smaller brush than me, cause this one was a little bit too big. It's kinda hard this way. You can use a wet cotton swab if ever you need to do corrections. Since it's water-based makeup, it will go easily with water. To add a bit more definition to the eye, I use a black liner near the lash line. I really love pen liners because they're super sharp and easy to use. Now I'm ready to work on the bottom part of the eye. I draw the black line from the outer corner of the eye to the center. The reason why I chose a black pencil instead of the pen liner under the eyes is because I wanted a black faded line and not a sharp line. After that, I blended the bottom part of the black pencil line with a purple matte eyeshadow. Having the purple in my hand, I decided to apply just a little bit in the eye crease, smaller than the red coral eyeshadow. It gives a little bit more depth and richness to the colors. Now for the Circus touch, the white pencil in the waterline. This will create the illusion of bigger eyes. Who doesn't want bigger eyes, right? Now that the eye shape is pretty much done, I need to apply a bit of mascara to make sure that my lash line is really dark. You can apply several coats of mascara if needed. Remember at the beginning when we applied the cream highlight? Now we're gonna come back with some highlight shimmer powder over the same areas. The same areas except over the eyes. So this means on the bottom part of the forehead, on the bridge of the nose, on top of the cheekbones, around the lips, and a tiny bit on the chin. At the beginning, I applied an orange cream blush, but now I'm coming back with some pink blush. The combination of both colors will give a bit more richness. My favorite part, the freckles. There are many ways to apply freckles, but the way I prefer is with a toothbrush. For this part, you can use the white water-based makeup that you already use for the eyeliner. Simply load your brush with the product and then rub your thumb against the bristles. Try to aim for the blush areas. That means on the bridge of the nose and on the cheeks. Don't forget to close your eyes! Vary the size of the freckles by using a pointy brush. Now I'm adding a bit of white under the eyebrows arch. You can use a white powder for this. I'm adding crystals above the eye crease. Before gluing them, make sure to visualize the shape you want. Here's a little trick. Only add 2 or 3 glue dots at a time. Otherwise, by the time you arrive with your crystals, the glue will be dry. The eyelashes. For the Candy Crush look, I decided to use some small lashes, just to keep them more fun and playful, not the long, intense, and deep ones. For the lashes, I decided to use a latex lash glue. It's just easier to take off after. Here's a little tip. Put some glue on the tip of a brush and rub it against the lash band. I used a metal spatula to put back some glue near the outer corner, because it was lifting. Once the glue is tacky, hold the lash between your fingers and then start gluing near the inner corner. After that, towards the center of the eye. And finally, near the outer corner of the eye. To prevent droopy eyes, I would recommend you to glue the end of the lashes following your black liner. This way your lash will go up and not down. The glitters! To apply the glitters, first, spray your face with some makeup setting spray. Then, dab on the glitters before it dries. Final step! For the final topping, I'm gluing 3 tiny heart-shaped glitter over the bottom lip. For this step, I used the non-latex glue. It's just a little bit more precise. Woohoo! Your look is done! Let us know in the comments below if you have any questions or suggestions of what makeup look you would like to see us do next. For more Cirque du Soleil makeup videos, click here or click in the description below. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel so you don't miss out on the next video. Also, if you recreate this Valentine's Day look, share it with us by hashtagging Cirque Makeup. We can't wait to see it!